Hey everyone, it's Sabrina from Silver Heights Neighborhood Association, and it is another Camp in a Box craft. And this one is a bit messy, so make sure you are doing this in the kitchen or outside, and yeah, because it can make a little bit of a mess. So we are doing bath bombs today. We're going to do our little DIY bath bombs from home. So make sure you have everything laid out before you do it, because you're going to want to work quickly with these bath bombs. So from your Camp in a Box, week 2, or box 2, you are going to take out the Ziploc bag that should say cornstarch on it. You're going to take out the baggie that says baking soda bath bomb. And yes, so that is what you're going to need from your Camp in a Box to do the DIY bath bombs. If you have coconut oil or leftover coconut oil from the other crafts, you can use that as well to add it in, but again, not mandatory. And then some extra add-ins that you're going to need to grab from home, from your cupboard. You're going to need some salt. It can be Epsom salts. Actually, Epsom salts are recommended because this is used for the bath. Or you can just take some regular salt, which is what I'll be using here. And then you need some sort of oil. So take the oil also from the Camp in a Box. We measured out, all the stuff measured out is what you guys need to do the bath bombs. So yeah, so you're going to need your baking soda, your cornstarch, and your oil from the Camp in a Box. And then some add-ins. You're going to need some salt, whether that be Epsom salts or just regular salt. Food coloring if you want your bath bomb to be a certain color. And any kind of essential oil, lavender oil, coconut oil. Those are not mandatory, but if you have that at home and you want to make your bath bomb smell a little bit better, those are what you can add. So I'm going to go through this with you and tell you guys how to make it. So I'm going to just turn the camera down there a little bit. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is grab our baggie with that says baking soda. So all the measurements we made you should make about 2 really big bath bombs, or one middle one, or a bunch of small ones. So I'm just going to make a smaller one today to show you guys, but you guys can just use the whole thing in your bag if you want to make it super, super big. So you're going to take your baking soda bath bomb. Make sure you have a bowl and a spoon here as well, because we're going to need to mix it and work a little quicker. So I'm just taking the baking soda, and I'm just pouring in a little bit. I'm not exactly measuring it to put in the bowl just because I want to make a smaller one, but I'm just pouring a good amount of baking soda into the bowl, and I'm expecting this to make me a pretty small bath bomb. Yes, so if you want to make a really big one, just use everything in the bag at once. But if you want to try it out first and see how you like it, you can start off smaller. So I'm putting about that much of baking soda in. We're also going to now take our cornstarch. So take your baggie that says cornstarch. And again, I'm going to try and put the same amount that I put in. That's good. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the salts. So if you have Epsom salts, you use Epsom salts because it's better for a bath. But I'm just using regular salt, and regular salt does work fine. It does fizz. It may just not last as long, but it does fizz. So I'm just going to pour some salt in. And that is that. I'm going to give our dry ingredients a bit of a whisk just to make sure it's all incorporated. Here we go. And the next step is where you can add in the oil that we provided you. Or if you want your bath bomb to smell good and to maybe be a different color, you can use food coloring if you have food coloring at home. Just drop in a few drops, not too much, because you don't want it to be super watery. And same with the any kind of essential oil that you put in. You're not going to want it to be super, super oily. So you're going to just put 1 tablespoon of it. If you decide that you want an essential oil, just 1 tablespoon. If you decide that you're going to use the oil that we provided you, same thing, just 1 tablespoon. So for today, I am going to use just some olive oil here. Olive oil is really good for your skin, so in the bath bomb, it'll still make it really nourishing. It just won't smell as great as if you were to put maybe a lavender oil or anything like that. So I'm going to put in 1 tablespoon of the olive oil into our mixture. So I'm just going to mix it, and this is where you're going to want to start working a little quickly. So So we're going to take our spoon and just mix in the oil with our dry ingredients. If you're thinking that you put maybe too much of the powder in, you can always go in and add a little bit more oil or a little bit more powder, totally up to you. So it's going to look a little clumpy and look like it's not really going to mix together. That's okay. It will mix together once we mold it. So if you put food coloring into your bath bomb, this is where you're going to want to put some rubber gloves on so that you're not staining your hands, because we are going to be using our hands to mold it into a shape. And if you use color, it could stain your hands if you're not using a glove. So just to make it, you guys can see a little better, I'm going to transfer what I have in the bowl into this paper plate so you can see me mold it a little bit better. So I'm just going to move this down so you can see it a little bit better. Still super bright, but I'll explain as I go. So I'm just going to take out everything that I've mixed in here onto a plate. It's going to look super crumbly, but that's okay. That's what we want, because now we're going to mold it. So now, once it's all in there, you're going to have your clean hands if you're just using your bare hands and not using gloves. You're going to start to mold it into a little bit of a ball so it looks more like that bath bomb texture. So I'm just grabbing it into my hand and squeezing it, kind of like we're making a snowball. And I'm just going to mix it in. If it's super crumbly, don't worry. It will eventually stick together into a ball. You could, again, add a little bit more oil if you want it to be more oily, or add more baking soda so it fizzes a little bit better. So I'm just going to wrap it into a small little ball. Again, I told you guys I was making mine super small. And this was, I put maybe half of what, a little less than half of what we gave you guys in your bag, and then made about this size of a bath bomb. So if you want a super big one, use it all. You want a medium, use half of what we gave you. So I made about a small one. So you're just going to wrap it up. It's still super gentle, so I wouldn't just put this into your bath right away because it won't do much and it'll break apart. It's super, super delicate to the touch. If I squeeze on it just a little bit, it'll crumble in my hands. So what you're going to do from here is you have a few options. If you have a cupcake mold at home, you can put this in the cupcake little mold and mold it into the shape of the cupcake liner and let it sit in there and set in there, and then you can peel it off and you can have a prettier shaped bath bomb. Or if you just want to put it like this into the freezer, that works too. So I'm going to actually just grab a little bit more of the baking powder to just dust it off because mine's a little bit too wet. So I'm going to go back into the baking powder, just dust a little bit more onto that ball that we made. I'm going to roll it up a little bit in that baking soda powder, and so it looks a little bit like this. This will make it fizz a bit more in the bathtub. And now I'm going to set it aside and I'm going to put it in the freezer or the fridge to cool down and really harden, because you want to make sure it's really hard to the touch before you put this in the bath bomb and into the bath. If I squeeze it just a little bit too hard, this will break, but that's normal because it's not set yet. So yes, this is our little bath bomb, and when it's all set and ready, you can drop this in the bath and it'll fizz and you have yourself a little DIY bath bomb. So I hope you guys really enjoy this little DIY that we included in your Camp in a Box, and we can't wait to hear if you guys like it. So enjoy your baths. Bye guys.